folks, this is all the fruit, and Baccaurea fruits are among the tastiest fruits of Borneo and all of Southeast Asia. They come from a family which is not very well known in the West, Phylantaceae, and have dozens, hundreds of edible species. Actually, a lot of the edible species, you can only find when visiting some remote jungle villages, or not even the villages. You have to go to the jungle because nobody will bring them to the villages. Or if you read some obscure ethnobotanical papers from some scientists who lived in those remote villages. But one species which is quite well known in Borneo, albeit virtually unknown outside of the island, is Baccaurea angulata, the angular Baccaurea, which, unlike most of the other species, is not more or less roundish, but has those very conspicuous ridges, and also usually a very bright red color. I bought a lot of those Baccaureas on the markets in Kuching because they seem to be in season and they seem to have a bumper crop right now. I've never seen so much Baccaurea angulata on the market. Actually, usually you were glad to find one stall with Baccaurea angulata, but for example on Satok weekend market I found it in maybe 10-15 places. I could have bought more different ones, but I think here I got quite a nice overview over the ones you can find on the market. Well, Baccaurea angulata here in Borneo is called Belimbing Merah. Belimbing is their name for the not only for the bilimbi but also for the closely related star fruit. They are both not closely related to Baccaurea angulata, but since the star fruit also has a star-shaped cross section, it is being the Baccaurea angulata is called basically the red star fruit. And this one, which is not a complete albino, but it's one very pale one, they called white star fruit, Belimbing puti. Here I have two other very common Baccaureas which you can find on a lot of local markets. The Rambai, Baccaurea motleyana, and here one of the many tampois. I think this is Baccaurea macrocarpa. Well, Baccaureas are super tasty. They have a strong sweet and sour taste and a very nice mild flavor. Let's try the two other species first. Let's try the Rambai, Baccaurea motleyana. It has some nice elongated fruits, not very big for Baccaurea. That's still bigger than a lot of wild species. It has three areoles inside. No, they are not dry, they are very juicy. That's quite typical for Baccaurea. Wonderful. Mostly sweet, but also with enough sourness to have a beautiful balance. And a very nice mild lemony flavor. Let's try Baccaurea macrocarpa next. I think this might be my favorite Borneo fruit. Yeah, those a little bit old already. 3 carpels, each one usually with 2 seeds in the species. And in macrocarpa, the areoles around the seeds are whitish. Then there is edulis with yellow ones and some with reddish or orangish areoles, but this I'm pretty sure is macrocarpa. Maybe even better. This one is even much sweeter, a lot of sweetness. The sweetness definitely totally dominating the sourness, but it's good that there is some sourness. Also a nice, very mild flavor. Wonderful. I like super sweet fruits, and while the Rambai is already pretty sweet, The tampoi. It's even many times sweeter. Now we come to the main purpose of today's video. Let's try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, I don't know if they even have named varieties of Baccaurea angulata here, but those are definitely from 5 different very distinctive trees. The first one, not very pronounced ridges, and also a lot of brown or more like not so much copper but bronze surface. Let's try them. Despite the very different appearance, once you open it, you notice that it is totally a Baccaurea. The outer rind is kind of edible in this species. A nice sour taste, but a very earthy flavor I don't like so much. What about the air? It was pretty sweet, also sour, with the flavor of apples. Next we take those quite small but really dark red fruits, also not very big ridges. Despite being much smaller, you can see here the rind is considerably thinner, and also we have 3 areoles in here, so we get more basically more food for money. But right now they are dirt cheap, so you shouldn't worry too much about spending money. Also those are quite ripe. More sweet and almost no sourness. Also a bit drier, and the flavor is again pretty similar to an apple. And this is the actual reason for me doing this video, this quite pale one. I'm very fascinated by the change of taste, or by the lack of the change of taste, when you change the color of a fruit. Sometimes you change the color of a fruit and the taste changes completely when the pigment is something which also has a pronounced taste, and sometimes you change the color of the fruit and the taste stays completely the same. Again, this very earthy flavor. Quite a thick and juicy rind, and in this case only 1 areole in this pretty big fruit. Oh yeah. We are in the rainforest climate, and bright sunshine doesn't prevent heavy rains from raining. Maybe at least connect my clothes a little bit. Okay. I have to interrupt the video for a moment. Getting completely soaked, but I don't care. Need to finish the video. Now we have those medium size, quite thick and plump fruits here. Three areoles. So in this species there is only 1 areole in each carpel. In this one we had 2. Not much flavor, but sweet and also a bit sour. Now let's take this one with the very pronounced ridges, very high ridges. Only 2 developed here. A lot more sour, but nice. So folks, This was a compilation of different Baccaurea angulata here in the heavy rainforest climate. I'm running now. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos.